Hey, YouTube pipe community, Sage of Two Dogs coming to you live in the backwoods of somewhere in the Carolinas from my back deck. I wanted to share Captain Earl's 10 Russians. This is a blend of Cavendish, Latakia, Orientals, and Virginias. Probably a lot of reviews compare it to a tobacco from years ago, a Balkan Sabrini. I never had a chance to smoke that, but this is, if you find yourself a Latakia lover, then like Pirate Cake, this Captain Earl's 10 Russians would be right up your alley, as long as your alley accepts Latakia. So let me show you. Of course, it has the. I really enjoy smoking this tobacco, but for the life of me, I've got a bunch of this that I bought already put up in the cellar, and I'm just going to keep this out to smoke it. Here's a little chunk, and then it comes in this pressed cake. It's very beautiful. You can see the layers, and I opened this maybe 2 weeks ago, and it has been hanging around with me in my bag, my pipe bag, for ever since then, driving to and from the office. And let's give her a little taste. Man, that is good. I would say that you definitely get the Orientals on the initial light, and you get a little bit of you get a good bit of the Latakia as well. For those of you that are just dying to know, this is a pipe of the year by Peterson. It's my second favorite pipe. Hell, I couldn't tell you what year. I think 2013 or 15 or hell, I don't know. I'd have to go look at my notes. It's basically an overgrown version of that Donegal Rocky that I smoke so often. And so some of the reviews, the people talk about the harsh nicotine hit of this blend. It's got a nicotine kick to it. So I would say to smoke it after a meal, or an evening smoke like I'm doing. The room note is a little harsh. It's definitely nothing like an aromatic, which I have ventured into some of those in the past 6 weeks, and have found a couple of enjoyable blends that don't seem to affect my sinuses, and allow me to smoke my pipe around a good bit of people, and have them not be, put off by my pipe smoking. Couple of shout outs to some people that have recently subscribed to my channel. The Vlad Piper, enjoy some of his stuff. Jack the Piper, pretty cool video that he put on the other day, kind of a Jack the Ripper kind of thing going on. I haven't put anything on in a week or so, mainly because work has just been absolutely crushed, and with so many people off, I really didn't think it was fair that I kind of slacked off and gave myself time to do a video. But I really like the community. It's a lot of fun, and I continue buying different tobaccos to try. I did have one individual tell me that they would like me to do a review on a Burley. And they specifically mentioned one that they didn't want to hear about because everybody reviews it. So I have ordered a unique Burley blend. I couldn't believe it was available, but I have it on the way to the Carolinas from Germany. Don't know when it'll get here. But when it does, I'll spend a week or so smoking it, and I'll write some notes, and then I'll give it a good review. So one of the things that I noticed about this community compared to some of the other YouTube communities is that for the most part, there's not a bunch of condescending, arrogant people out there that take a newbie and rake them through the coals. And there's a couple of golf channels out there, and when people are just getting into the game, and they ask them, well, what irons do you carry, and this, that, and the other thing. If somebody is just new to that sport, they just rake them over the coals. I mean, there's one particular golf thing that I was kind of watching a little bit that I just quit watching it all because of some of the meanness that I seen in the texting, I guess, or the comment section. And so I wanted to say overall, what a gentlemanly organization everybody is for the majority of the whole. And I really find that enjoyable. I left my nail sitting in there on the counter, I think, and since we're seeing one another eye to eye talking about this, Earl's 10 Russians, I don't want to go get it. Just press it down with my fingers. Got a little bit of a callus on there anyway. So, without sounding vulgar, one of the things that is kind of a subculture known entity of how Captain Earl's 10 Russians will affect you is it will make you have to get up and go to the bathroom. Or so they say. Haven't had it affect me like that, but we shall see. I just got through having strawberries and lemon water and a protein drink for dinner. It's not the dinner of champions, but it's what I wanted tonight. What else can I talk about? Peterson pipes. You have some expensive Peterson pipes to get in on the beginning range around $65, $85. And you have some Peterson pipes that run up around $550, $650. I've seen some comments of people that bought some estate pipes from Peterson that got them and they were just not happy with them. I've seen some people that bought new Peterson pipes that had the color green coming off of some of the St. Patty's Day pipes, and they were having trouble of them, cooking really hot. And you see lots of comments about, did you smoke it fast? How did you break it in? Hell, sometimes you just get a pipe that sucks. I mean, I've got a Savinelli in there that, didn't cost that much, $160 when I bought it one time. I can't even look at it when I walk by without it getting warm. Now it sits right next to another Savinelli that I bought at a flea market for $30, brought it home and cleaned it up and waxed the bowl and polished it and put olive oil on the stem and cleaned it all up and did the alcohol with salt. Shame on me, I know it cracks the briar, but God help me, I did it anyway. And man, I have smoked that thing like a freight train. When I was sitting at a card table playing gin with some buddies of mine in Pittsburgh, and I had had a few too many libations, and it got hot, but I didn't burn it through, and it didn't get as hot as that poor little Savinelli that gets warm when I walk by. So what I'm trying to say is sometimes you just get a pipe that just acts out of character. Now, I will tell you this. I am not a pipe maker. I've got a few in there that I've whittled out, and I enjoy them. Goofing with the little briar kits you can buy for $25 or something. But there are some different grains in these briar blocks, and I wonder sometimes if you don't get a piece of briar, and I have a pipe in there that made me think of this, that has a bit of a tension knot going on one side of the drill hole, and on the other side it's very smooth. So you're going to have a denser wood fiber on one side than you would the other. Now, I guess technically they would see that and it would shit the bed in manufacturing. But if it's just some poor schlep that's working on a machine that's just, turning bowls and turning stems and spitting it into a big box that's 3 foot by 3 foot by 2 foot deep and going to the next process, hey, who knows? So I think you just keep smoking your pipe, and if you get one that gets really hot and it's brand new, get the brick and mortar if you bought it there, or the online chain that you bought it from to exchange it if they will. Most are really good about that, and if not, then you just chalk it up to experience and go on your merry way. Word of wisdom for the day. I don't want to get political because there's people out there that are Republicans, Democrats, independents, right-wingers, left-wingers. Who knows? But I am going to give you a couple of things to ponder. It has nothing to do with one political affiliation or the other. And I have traveled all over this world, and I have seen some shit, but I ain't never seen no shit like this. My mind since March, watching this world pandemic shutdown and watching the politicians in different countries navigate their way through it. Has made me ponder two items. One is, what exactly was it about this coronavirus Novo 19 that allowed them to escalate, shutting down the entire world? Egypt, Jordan, Japan, China, America, Canada, Mexico. You know, there were a few rogue countries out there that really didn't shut much down. But in the whole, Europe, the Middle East, Asia, and the Western Hemisphere all pretty much shut everything down. And now they're relaxing things and they're opening things back up. And there was some terrible deaths in New York and in Italy and places like San Francisco and you know, New Orleans. There's some hot spots out there, there's no doubt. But when you look at the people that have died from it and you look at the numbers do not make sense for the reactionary response. And, you know, you can be proactive or you can be reactionary. So, on one hand, it looks like they were being proactive. On the other hand, as time goes on, it looks very reactionary. And what I mean by that is that they're going to tell you, and the news is telling you, and the officials are telling you across the world, that the second run of this is going to hit this winter, coming sometime starting in September, October, the fall. Now, Los Angeles has issued a declaration shutting everybody down for the next 3 months. That'd be June, July, August. So you're going to tell me that they're going to open up restrictions at the end of August or the middle of August, and they're expecting a worse bout of this starting in September? Makes me question stuff. Also, we have one doctor, and I don't have to mention him by name, but he seems to have a lot of authoritarian suggestions that are heeded by the governors across the United States. So I think like this: either it's a hell of a lot worse than what they're even telling us right now, and we're all in deep trouble. And if that's not the case, then I wonder if there is not something more sinister worldwide to create a different mindset and a different frame of thought on civil liberties that we are used to participating and having at present. I don't know the answer to that. What I do know is I'm going to continue to monitor my environment and pay attention to the world around me, and I'm going to continue to pray to God the Father Almighty, to God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit. And because this is all in His hands. But it is unique. So my word of wisdom is pray, pay attention to your environment. You can only believe half of what you see and part of what you hear. Because it seems like on any subject, there is a underlying motive in the text that is communicated. Well, this Captain Earl's 10 Russians is absolutely wonderful. Very much reminds me of a Balkan blend. It's a very enjoyable English. For the Sage of Two Dogs, God bless you. Peace out. And don't forget to pray for me. Bye bye.